I think this is about week 3 on quarantine. I know that it's been at least 3 Sabbaths that we've done live stream. The Sabbath will be a live stream from my house. If you want to know why, I'm happy to have that conversation with you separately. But how are you guys doing? For many of us, after hearing this morning from the governor, we've kind of learned that remote learning is becoming an accepted new norm. And we're trying to figure it out. I spent a good portion of it trying to figure it out today. So parents, you're not alone. Kiddos, you're not alone. This is a journey that we're all on together. I was having a conversation with a church member, and after she shared with me some of what she's going through, at the very end of our conversation, she took a deep breath and she asked, or she said, I just want peace. She just, in the deepest desires of her heart, she just wants peace. I think all of us are feeling that. There's this want to just know that it's gonna be okay. That we're not alone in this, that there's a God who is a good God, and that we're gonna make it through. To have that peace, contentment. In our story for the Sabbath, we're looking at that triumphal entry of Christ into Jerusalem. If you read the Gospels, you see this progression towards Jerusalem, and now he has entered in. And he makes the preparations, and he calls the disciples to go and get a colt and a donkey. There's some who argue that it's just the colt, because how could Jesus ride 2 different animals? This is in the Gospel according to Matthew. And some that will say, oh, he switched on and off, that he read the donkey, and then he read the colt, and then he read the donkey. And this understanding, the colt is a baby donkey. I don't know. I wasn't there. But I find it interesting that in the Old Testament, whenever a king would ride a donkey into a city, into a space, it was to declare peace. If he was trying to declare war, he would ride a horse. But if a king was declaring peace and coming into a space with intentions towards peace, he would be riding a donkey. And even more interesting, or equally so, would be the fact that there's a colt that Jesus was able to ride. A donkey is the most stubborn animal that we've tried to tame. And the miracle in and of itself is that Jesus even could ride a donkey, but then to say that he was able to ride a colt, a baby donkey that hasn't been trained, hasn't been tamed, hasn't been controlled, hasn't been taught how to actually let someone ride him, that's unheard of. So if you are feeling this hunger for peace, remember that Jesus came into Jerusalem, came into this movement towards the cross, declaring in of that moment that he came with peaceful intentions, that he was declaring peace in the midst of that triumphal entry, in the midst of his journey towards the cross, in the midst of even being on the cross. Christ declared peace, declared this moment that salvation would be available. I've been reading through and studying with my kiddos Matthew 21 to 25 and looking at the parables. And I was just amazed. We read about the cornerstone. The stone that builders rejected has now become the cornerstone. And it is of God. And it is wonderful. It is God's doing. And it is declared wonderful. The movement towards the cross is a declaration of peace. And it is God's doing. And it is wonderful. How ironic.